All right, get ready to dive deep because today's topic is digital marketing and its connection to social media. You sent over a really interesting bunch of articles about it, and honestly, there's just so much there. But don't worry, that's why we do these deep dives. We'll break it all down for everyone, highlight the really interesting stuff, and by the time we're done, you'll be navigating this whole digital landscape like an expert.
Yeah, sounds good. It really is a constantly changing world, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So let's jump right in. I think it's best to start with the basics. So can you give us like a clear definition of what digital marketing actually is?
Of course. Digital marketing basically includes any kind of marketing effort that uses electronic devices or the internet. Think of it like a giant toolbox full of different strategies and tools, all designed to reach people online.
So we're talking about things like websites, search engines, email campaigns, even those ads that seem to follow you everywhere you go online.
Exactly. And each one of these pieces of the puzzle has its own purpose and strategy. So, for example, there's SEO, which is all about getting your website to show up higher in search results, like on Google. Then there's content marketing, which is where you create valuable blog posts, articles, videos, that kind of thing to attract and engage your target audience. And of course, good old email marketing, sending targeted emails to build relationships right through their inbox.
Ah, SEO. That's the one I always hear people talking about. It seems, though, like it's a moving target. Like so much goes into trying to get those top spots in Google search results.
Yeah, you're right. It's a really complex world. It's all about keywords, backlinks, the quality of your content, and so much more. But when you do SEO right, it can really drive a lot of organic traffic to your website.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, where does social media marketing fit into all of this? Is it just one part of the bigger digital marketing picture?
Well, think of social media marketing as like a specialized branch within that larger galaxy of digital marketing. It's laser focused on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and even TikTok to achieve, very specific marketing goals.
So both digital marketing and social media marketing want to increase brand awareness and drive traffic, right? But it sounds like social media marketing is more about building communities and relationships with customers, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Imagine, for example, you have a company that sells handmade jewelry. A broader digital marketing approach for that might involve making sure your website is optimized for search engines so that when someone searches for handmade earrings, you show up at the top of the results page. You might also run some targeted ads on websites that people who like jewelry visit.
Makes sense. But what would that look like with social media marketing?
So with social media, you do things a little differently. You could post like really amazing photos of your jewelry on Instagram, or share behind the scenes videos of how you make the jewelry, or maybe even do a contest where people share their favorite jewelry styling tips. It's more about creating that kind of like personal experience, engaging with potential customers directly and showcasing, the passion and story behind your brand.
Yeah, that personal touch is definitely important. It's something you don't really get with a lot of traditional advertising. It's not just sending out a message, it's like creating a real conversation.
Exactly, and that's what social media does really well.
Okay, I'm starting to see the difference.
Hmm.
But why is there so much emphasis on social media marketing these days? It seems like it's all anyone's talking about.
Well, for one thing, the potential reach is just unbelievable. There are literally billions of people all over the world using these platforms, and it's such a diverse audience. It's just unmatched by any other marketing channel.
That's a really good point. But wouldn't it be hard to stand out in such a crowded space?
Well, that's where the power of targeted advertising really shines. Social media platforms gather so much data about their users, so businesses can really fine-tune who sees their ads. Imagine being able to show your ad only to people who have, I don't know, looked at handmade jewelry online before, or to people who live in a specific area, or maybe fall within a certain age range.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. It's like you're putting your message right in front of the people who are most likely to be interested.
Exactly. You're not wasting effort on people who don't care. But reach and targeting are just part of the story. What really makes social media marketing special is how it lets you engage more deeply with customers. It's not just a one-way street of sending out messages. It's a two-way conversation where businesses can actually interact with their audience in real time. By responding to comments, answering questions, getting involved in discussions, it lets companies build authentic relationships and a sense of community around their brand.
So it's not just about getting new customers. It's also about keeping those relationships going and building a loyal group of followers.
You got it. And focusing on real engagement is a big reason why social media marketing is such a crucial part of any good digital strategy.
Okay, I'm starting to see how it all fits together.
Yeah.
But it seems like digital marketing and social media marketing really work best together, right? It's not like one is meant to replace the other.
Yeah, absolutely. They actually complement each other perfectly. It's like a 1-2 punch. Digital marketing is like the foundation, getting your website in order and driving traffic to it. And then social media steps in to amplify those efforts, leading to even more engagement and stronger customer relationships.
Okay, I'm really intrigued. So how does that work in the real world?
Let's go back to our handcrafted jewelry business for a second. Let's say you just wrote a really great blog post about where you get your materials and the craftsmanship that goes into each piece. To make sure more people see it, you could share it on all of your social media platforms.
Content amplification.
Yeah.
That's a clever way to get more people to check out your hard work.
Exactly. And you can also use social media to get people to visit your website. Imagine running a contest on Instagram where people have to go to your website to learn more about you and maybe win a piece of jewelry. It's a smart way to connect your social media presence with your main website.
So it's about making a seamless, engaging experience across all the different ways people might find you online.
That's it. It's all about creating a consistent and appealing brand experience.
All right, I'm sold. But with all this effort going into digital and social media marketing, how do we even know if it's actually working? How do we measure success in this crazy, ever-changing world?
That's the million-dollar question. And luckily, there are ways to measure your success, both for digital marketing in general and for your specific social media campaigns.
Okay, take me through it. What are the key things to keep an eye on?
Sure. With digital marketing, you're usually focused on what people are actually doing on your website. So things like, of course, website traffic, but also how many visitors are actually doing what you want them to do, like buying something or signing up for your email list. And in the end, it's all about ROI. Are you actually making more money from your digital marketing efforts?
So you're looking for those real, tangible results to prove that all your efforts are actually helping your business grow.
Exactly. But with social media, things are a bit different. While website traffic and conversions are still important, you're also looking at how people are engaging with you, like how many people are liking, commenting, sharing, and saving your content. Are you getting more followers? And what's the overall vibe around your brand on social media? Are people saying good things? Or are there negative comments you need to address?
So it's about understanding how people feel about your brand and seeing what you could be doing better.
Exactly. You want to make sure people are genuinely interested in what you're putting out there, that they're interacting with your brand and becoming part of that online community you've built.
That makes a lot of sense. This has been so insightful, and we've covered so much already. But I have one question that I can't stop thinking about. It seems like this whole digital and social media landscape just changes so rapidly. What's coming next? What should we be prepared for in the next few years?
You're absolutely right. Things are always changing, and there are some really fascinating trends emerging that could totally transform how we do marketing online.
Okay, tell me everything. I'm ready to hear it all.
Well, one trend we already talked about is the rise of artificial intelligence, or AI. But that's just the beginning. AI is on track to completely change the way we approach marketing. It's like having this incredibly smart assistant who can help you create super targeted campaigns, personalize every single interaction, and even predict what your customers want before they even know it themselves.
That's amazing, but also a bit scary. It seems like AI is going to be involved in every part of marketing.
It probably will be. But listen, AI isn't about replacing us, the human marketers. It's more about giving us better tools and freeing us from those repetitive tasks that take up so much time. Imagine AI doing things like scheduling your social media posts for you, or analyzing data and generating reports. That would give you more time to focus on the big picture strategy, to be creative, and to build those real human connections that are at the heart of good marketing.
So AI is like our new marketing partner, not our replacement.
Exactly. It's about using technology to make us more efficient and more effective, and ultimately more human in our approach to marketing.
This is all so fascinating. I think we need to take a break here to absorb all this information.
Yeah, good idea. We've really gone through a lot. We've covered the basics of digital and social media marketing, and even touched on the future of this crazy world.
That's right. And that brings us to the end of part 1 of our deep dive. But don't go anywhere, because in part 2, we're going to take an even closer look at social media marketing. We'll explore all the key platforms and uncover the strategies that get real results. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm still thinking about everything we talked about in part one. We covered so much, from the basics of digital marketing to like the incredible possibilities of AI.
It's definitely a fascinating area to explore, and we really have only just started.
Exactly. So that brings us to part two of our deep dive. I'm really excited to dig deeper into the world of social media marketing. You mentioned some key platforms earlier, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. What makes each one unique, and how can businesses use them in a smart way?
Great question. Each platform is kind of like its own world, with its own personality, its own strengths, and its own target audience. Let's start with Facebook, the giant in the room, with its massive user base. It's really versatile, good for reaching a wide variety of people. And its advertising platform is super powerful. You can target specific demographics, interests, and behaviors with amazing precision.
It's almost like the go-to social media platform, wouldn't you say? Seems like everyone has a Facebook account these days.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's become such a normal part of our online lives. But that's actually what makes it so attractive to businesses. No matter what you're selling or who you're trying to reach, there's a good chance you'll find your target audience on Facebook.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about Instagram? I know it's super popular, especially with younger people.
Instagram is all about visual storytelling. Think beautiful photos, captivating videos, and those stories that disappear after 24 hours, which create this sense of urgency, like you have to see it now. It's the perfect place for brands that want to show off their products in a really visually appealing way and connect with their audience in a more emotional way.
Yeah, for me, Instagram is where I go for inspiration, to see what's trending, especially in things like fashion, food, and travel.
Exactly, and that's why it works so well for brands in those industries. Now let's switch gears to Twitter. Twitter is known for fast-paced conversations happening in real time.
Twitter always seems to be buzzing with breaking news and lively discussions. It definitely has a different feel than Facebook or Instagram.
Absolutely. Twitter is where people go to stay up to date, to share their thoughts and opinions, and to get involved in those rapid-fire conversations that really shape public opinion. For businesses, it's great for establishing yourself as a thought leader, for customer service, and for connecting with journalists and influencers.
It seems like every journalist, politician, and celebrity is on Twitter.
It's become the home for news and commentary. Now, we can't forget about LinkedIn, the king of professional networking. If you're in the B2B world, LinkedIn is where it's at. It's the perfect platform for sharing insights about your industry, showcasing your expertise, and building relationships with other professionals.
Yeah, LinkedIn is where I go for career advice, industry news, and networking. It's full of valuable information and connections.
It's a powerful tool for anyone looking to advance their career or grow their business in a professional setting. And finally, we have TikTok, the new kid on the block. It's all about short-form videos.
Oh, TikTok. I have to admit, I've spent way too much time scrolling through those videos. It's definitely caught the attention of a younger audience.
It's become a cultural phenomenon, and for businesses, it's a unique chance to connect with Gen Z and millennials in a fun, creative, and authentic way. Think dance challenges, catchy jingles, and those behind-the-scenes peeks that show off your brand's personality.
Okay, so we've got Facebook for reach, Instagram for visuals, Twitter for conversations, LinkedIn for professionals, and TikTok for, well, TikTok. But with all of these options, it can be hard to know where to even start.
That's a really common problem for businesses that are new to social media marketing. The most important thing is to understand your target audience first. Who are you trying to reach? What platforms do they use? Where do they hang out online?
So it's not about being on every single platform. It's about choosing the ones where your ideal customers are.
Exactly. You want to put your energy where it will have the biggest impact. Once you've figured out your target platforms, it's time to develop a solid social media strategy.
Okay, break it down for me. What are the key parts of a good social media strategy?
The first thing is to create content that people actually want to see, content that resonates with your target audience. This is what will grab their attention, keep them engaged, and ultimately get them to do what you want them to do.
So it's not just about posting random stuff. It's about creating content that has a purpose and that appeals to the interests and needs of your audience.
You got it. And that content can take many different forms. You could have eye-catching visuals, informative blog posts, entertaining videos, thought-provoking questions, even behind-the-scenes glimpses that show the human side of your brand.
It's all about standing out from the crowd, right?
Yeah.
Grabbing attention and making people stop scrolling for a second.
Exactly. You want people to see your content and think, hey, this is interesting. I want to know more.
Okay, so good content is key. What else is important?
Building a community is absolutely essential. It's not enough to just post stuff and hope for the best. You need to engage with your followers, respond to comments, answer questions, get involved in conversations, and make people feel like they belong.
So it's about having a real dialogue with people,
Hmm.
making them feel heard and valued, and showing them that there are real people behind the brand.
Exactly. It's about building those genuine relationships that turn followers into loyal customers and advocates for your brand.
That's so important. What about social media advertising? How can businesses use that effectively?
Social media advertising can be super effective, especially when you combine it with that targeted approach we talked about before. Most platforms have a bunch of different advertising options, so businesses can reach their ideal customers based on demographics, interests, behaviors, and more.
So it's kind of like those targeted ads we talked about in part one, but tailored specifically for each social media platform.
You got it. And the best part is that social media advertising lets you track your results in real time. You can measure your return on investment and keep tweaking your campaigns to make them even better.
That data-driven approach is so crucial. It takes the guesswork out of marketing and lets you make smart decisions based on real data.
Exactly. And speaking of reaching the right people, influencer marketing has become a huge part of the social media world.
Oh yeah, influencers.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about them these days. What exactly is influencer marketing and why does it work so well?
Influencer marketing is all about working with people who have a lot of followers and influence over a specific audience. These influencers can be celebrities, bloggers, YouTube stars, TikTok personalities, all sorts of people. The trick is to find influencers who match your brand values and whose audience overlaps with your target market.
So it's like using their credibility and reach to spread your brand message further.
Exactly. When an influencer recommends your product or service, it's like getting a recommendation from a friend. It carries a lot more weight than a regular advertisement.
That makes a lot of sense. It's all about leveraging trust and authenticity to make people aware of your brand and drive sales. Now, you mentioned something earlier about social listening. What is that and why is it important for businesses?
Social listening is all about keeping an eye on social media conversations and looking for mentions of your brand. It helps you understand how people feel about your brand, spot potential opportunities, and address any negative feedback.
It's like you're always aware of what people are saying about you online, both good and bad.
Precisely. It's a really valuable way to stay informed, manage your reputation, and make better marketing decisions. Imagine you find out there are a lot of negative comments about a new product you just launched. Social listening would alert you to that problem right away, so you could address it quickly and prevent any long-term damage to your brand.
That's a really good point. It's about being proactive instead of reactive and using those insights from social media to guide your strategies.
Exactly. And that proactive approach is so important in today's fast-paced digital world.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground in part two. From understanding the different platforms to creating great content, building community using advertising, working with influencers, and listening to your audience. It seems like social media marketing is a pretty complex thing.
It definitely is. But when you approach it strategically and execute it well, it can be incredibly powerful for building brand awareness, boosting sales, and creating those all-important customer relationships.
I've learned so much already. I feel like I have a much better understanding of how social media marketing works now.
What's next on our deep dive adventure?
In part three, we're going to shift gears again and look at some of the exciting trends that are shaping the future of digital and social media marketing. Get ready for a glimpse into what's coming next.
Okay, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into digital and social media marketing. We've gone through the fundamentals, we've broken down all those different social media platforms, and now I'm really excited for that glimpse into the future you promised. What trends are gonna, really shake things up in the marketing world in the coming years?
Yeah, get ready because the future of marketing is looking pretty wild. We talked about AI before, but it's so much more than just, personalized ads. AI is like poised to completely revolutionize how we approach marketing as a whole. It's like having this super intelligent assistant working alongside you, helping you create laser-focused campaigns, making every interaction feel personalized, and even predicting what your customers want before they even realize it themselves. Wow, that sounds amazing, but also a little bit scary. It feels like AI is going to be everywhere in the marketing world.
Yeah, it probably will be. But here's the thing, AI isn't here to replace us, the human marketers. It's more about like enhancing what we can do and, freeing us from those tedious, repetitive tasks that we all hate. Imagine if AI could handle things like, I don't know, scheduling all your social media posts, analyzing tons of data, and creating those reports. That would free up so much of your time to focus on the bigger picture, the strategy, coming up with creative ideas, and building those authentic human connections that are, really at the heart of good marketing.
So it's like AI is taking over those robotic tasks, letting us focus on the things that really require human creativity and ingenuity,
Mhm.
like that. So what other exciting trends are on the horizon?
Okay, think about how you usually search for something online. Are you still typing words into a search bar? Or are you finding yourself, talking to your devices more and more?
Oh, I definitely talk to my smart speaker way more than I'd like to admit. Hey Siri, what's the weather like today? Or,
Yeah.
okay, Google, find me a chocolate chip cookie recipe. I do it without even thinking.
Exactly. And that shift towards voice search is a big deal for marketers. We need to start optimizing our websites and our content to match how people actually talk. People use longer phrases, they ask questions, and they expect answers that sound conversational.
So instead of just focusing on those short, specific keywords, we need to think about how people actually speak and write our content that way.
Exactly. It's about figuring out what questions your audience is asking and giving them helpful answers in a way that sounds natural. It's a whole new way of thinking about SEO.
This is fascinating. It seems like we need to constantly adapt and stay ahead of the curve to keep up with how people are using technology.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of adapting, let's talk about video marketing. We touched on it before, but video is just going to keep blowing up in the next few years. With TikTok getting bigger and bigger and, live streaming becoming so popular, people really want content that's visually engaging and authentic. They want to see real people, real experiences, real stories.
That makes sense. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with information, video just feels more immersive and engaging. It's almost like having a face-to-face conversation, even if it's through a screen.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And that feeling of connection is so important. Now, here's something that might surprise you. The rise of ephemeral content.
Ephemeral content, what's that?
It's basically content that disappears after a short time, like Instagram stories or Snapchat snaps. You know, it creates this feeling of urgency, like you don't want to miss out, that regular content just doesn't have.
Oh, okay. It's like those behind-the-scenes sneak peeks that show you a brand's personality, or those limited time offers that make you want to buy something right away.
Exactly. Ephemeral content plays on our fear of missing out. It makes people want to engage right now and take advantage of those fleeting opportunities. It's a really powerful way to get people excited about your brand.
So it's not just about creating content that lasts forever. It's about creating these moments of spontaneity and exclusivity that capture attention.
You got it. And one last thing, personalization. In a world where everyone is bombarded with messages all the time, people really want experiences that feel made just for them. They want to feel seen and understood as individuals, not just another number.
Yeah, totally. It's those little personalized touches that make you feel like a brand really gets you.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, with all the advances in data and AI, marketers have more tools than ever to create those personalized experiences. Like, imagine getting an email from your favorite clothing store and it's recommending things based on what you've bought before and what you've been looking at online. Or maybe you see ads for events happening near you that match your interests.
That's amazing. It's about using data in a smart way, not to spam people, but to actually provide something valuable to each person.
Absolutely. It's about finding those win-win situations for both the brand and the consumer.
Wow, this has been an incredible journey. We've covered so much, from the very basics of digital and social media marketing to all these exciting trends that are shaping the future. What are the key takeaways you want our listeners to remember?
I think the most important thing is to embrace change. The world of digital marketing is always evolving, so be curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to try new things.
Such great advice.
Mm.
What else?
Always focus on building real human connections. At the end of the day, marketing is all about people. It's about understanding their needs, connecting with them on an emotional level, and building relationships that last.
Beautifully said. Any final thoughts?
The world of digital marketing is yours to explore. Go out there, be creative, experiment, and most importantly, have fun with it.
This has been an incredible deep dive. We've only just scratched the surface, but I think we've given everyone a really great starting point. And to everyone listening, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep pushing those boundaries in the ever-changing world of digital and social media marketing. Happy marketing.